Listos.
Ready? Sandoval Motionberg.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Simon Sandoval Motionberg. I'm a partner at the law firm Murray Osorio, and together with the law firm of Quinn Emanuel, we represent Mr. Abrego Garcia in this civil action. As the judge agreed, the law permits immigration detention for one reason and one reason only, and that's to effectuate an order of removal, to actually physically remove someone from the country. They can't detain someone in ICE custody for any other purpose. To punish them, to keep them in the country pending a criminal trial, none of those are permissible purposes. So we were in court on Monday of this week without a witness, with lawyers who had really no answers as to any of the questions that the judge had about Costa Rica, about Uganda, about Eswatini, about any other countries. And so the judge today ordered that a witness be brought in. And the witness gave some pretty interesting answers. First of all, the witness clarified that all three African countries that have been asked so far have said no. Uganda said no, Eswatini said no, and now apparently as of this morning, the foreign minister of Ghana has said no. And that there's no current plan to remove him from the country, although they're certainly going to keep trying. With regards to Costa Rica, they didn't have any good answers for why they haven't accepted his designation of Costa Rica. They basically tried to sort of confuse the judge with the timeline, but in the end it was quite clear that the judge saw through that. And most significantly, the witness himself, in violation of the judge's order, had no information about Costa Rica whatsoever. He wasn't even aware of the designation of Costa Rica. He wasn't even aware why Costa Rica was even sort of being discussed in the courtroom today. So I don't think the government had any good answers for why Mr. Abrego Garcia is still locked up today. And ultimately, the burden is on them to prove that the immigration detention is permissible. There's some jurisdictional issues around sort of a 6-month clock under a Supreme Court case from 2001 called Zadvitas, and when that 6-month clock starts. But the judge agreed with other jurists from this courthouse that, you know, whether or not we're sort of still in that 6-month period, all that does is give a presumption to one party or the other party, and at the end of the day, there's enough evidence in this record for the judge to decide. So I expect the judge is going to issue her decision as quickly as possible on whether the government can continue to hold Mr. Abrego Garcia or whether they have to release him. Now, of course, I'm very hopeful that we'll win the opinion we want, which is a release order, but to be clear, even if he's ordered released, that does not stop the government from its punitive efforts to continue to deport him across the Atlantic Ocean to countries that have a recent track record of holding U.S. deportees in confinement, in prison, in very bad conditions, right? So the fight against Mr. Abrego Garcia's deportation does not end, even if he's ordered released by the judge. But at the very least, finally, he would have the opportunity to come back to his family, to be in Maryland, under the strict conditions that the criminal judge in Tennessee put forward, and he would not be subject to punitive ICE detention anymore. So that's what the judge is going to decide. Of course, we have no way of knowing when, but I'm confident when she said she'll get her decision out as quickly as possible.
En español.
Can you speak to appeal possibilities, even if she does order him released sometime this
Yeah,
weekend?
that's the other thing, is that the government can always appeal a decision of this court. They can appeal to the Fourth Circuit, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit in Richmond, but then they would have to ask that court to stay the release order. And there's really no reason for them to stay the release order, since even once he's released from ICE custody, he'll be subject to very tight release conditions from the criminal court in Tennessee. So there would be no reason for the Fourth Circuit, we think, to stay any release order while they consider an appeal. Just one other detail that I found kind of interesting today. I can't even count the number of times we've been in this courthouse on this case since March. But it was the first time that any witness under oath said the word White House, right? The witness explained that he got the call that Uganda was going to be the country of removal from an official on the National Security Council. So that was an interesting tidbit that we learned today.
En español, por favor.
El propósito de hoy era para que el gobierno justificara la detención migratoria, la detención de ICE de Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Y yo creo que no lo justificaron. Lo que se hizo obvio el día de hoy es que no tienen ningún plan para deportarlo a ningún país en África, que lo único que tienen es una intención, tienen ganas, pero no tienen realmente un plan. Y que en las últimas 6 semanas, desde que, bueno, ya casi 7 semanas desde que está detenido por ICE, pasaron las primeras 6 semanas con los brazos cruzados, sentados en las manos, no haciendo absolutamente nada. Y realmente únicamente esta semana, después de que tuvieron un mal día en la corte el lunes de esta semana, de repente se pusieron a actuar. Entonces, si no lo están deteniendo para deportarlo, ¿para qué es que lo están deteniendo? Y la única razón obvia es para castigarlo. ¿Y por qué no lo han deportado a Costa Rica ya? Si lo que supuestamente quieren es haberlo deportado, no tuvieron buena respuesta. Trataron de confundir a la jueza con fechas, pero no tuvieron respuesta. Nadie pudo decir respuesta a la pregunta. Entonces, si él está dispuesto de ir a Costa Rica, ¿por qué no lo han mandado a Costa Rica? Entonces, vamos a recibir un fallo de la jueza. No sabemos cuándo, pero nos dijo que muy pronto. Pero aunque ganemos una orden de liberación, eso no quiere decir que él está fuera de peligro. Los esfuerzos de deportarlo a cualquier país al otro lado del mar Atlántico, esos seguirán y tenemos que seguir luchando para protegerlo y para asegurar de que puede quedar aquí en Maryland con su familia, o si tiene que salir del país, sale a un país con garantías que no va a terminar otra vez en Secot en El Salvador.
Can you speak to some of the confusion that went on with Costa Rica today? It seemed as though the Justice Department, you know, as the judge said, was misinterpreting the claims and obviously the court filing that you guys had designating Costa Rica as the country of removal that they preferred. Was this limited to just today, or is this a characterization that the Justice Department has made beyond?
No, so the judge, one of the things that she ordered in the order she issued Monday is that they bring a witness prepared to discuss the reason why he hasn't been sent to Costa Rica. The witness had zero information about Costa Rica whatsoever. He wasn't even aware that Costa Rica was a topic of conversation. And so they didn't have any answer to the question. So they tried to sort of act as if they were surprised to learn today that Costa Rica is an acceptable country to Mr. Abrego Garcia, even though it's been throughout our briefs in the past month and a half in this case. The motion to reopen an immigration court, one of the grounds was so that the immigration judge could send him to Costa Rica. So in the end, it just wasn't plausible that today they're learning for the first time that he's willing to accept Costa Rica as a country of removal.
So yeah, can you offer clarity? If the government says it's ready to begin the process of deporting him to Costa Rica, where does that leave you guys?
On a plane, right? I mean, obviously we don't consider it justice, right? It's not something we're going to be happy about, that he's going to be, removed from this country. But at the very least, we'll rest assured that it's a place where he can stay, and it's not just going to end up being a brief layover on the way back to El Salvador, right? Costa Rica's actually provided genuine, credible assurances to him in his name, right? With his first and last name, that they will provide him with refugee status and he will be able to stay in that country and not be re-deported onto El Salvador. At least so far, no other country on earth has provided those, and that's why Costa Rica, as of now, is the only country that is willing to accept immigration.
A bit of a procedural question. In the criminal case today, Judge Crenshaw issued an...
I'm sorry, I've been in court all day, so I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Was just going to ask if there was.
Yeah, I don't. Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
I knew you were something.